What if I told you the next All Blacks monster isn't even born in New Zealand? In fact, he didn't even grow up here. He's not from Auckland or Canterbury or Wellington. No, the All Blacks' newest powerhouse lock actually comes from a quiet town in the Netherlands, thousands of kilometres away from the haka, black jerseys and packed stadiums of Aotearoa. But somehow, this towering Dutchman not only made it to the big time, he's now dominating in the most competitive rugby jersey in the world. His name? Fabian Holland, and his story is almost too unreal to believe. Fabian Holland was born in Castricum, a coastal town in the north of Netherlands. Rugby wasn't exactly a mainstream sport there. Football ruled everything. But one random moment would set him on a completely different path. In 2014, when Fabian was just 12 years old, the All Black Sevens team trained in Amsterdam. And just like that, the seeds were planted. A few years later, at only 16, Holland made the boldest decision of his life. He left his home, his country and his family, and moved to New Zealand to chase a rugby dream. He enrolled at Christchurch Boys High School, a place famous for developing rugby talent. But Fabian wasn't just another kid trying his luck. He had raw size and drive, and New Zealand noticed. His progress was fast. He got picked for the New Zealand under-20 team and quickly broke into the Highlanders setup. People started whispering, "Who is this kid? He's Dutch. Wait, he's only 19. By 2022, Fabian made his Super Rugby debut for the Highlanders. He was only 19 years old. That's young for a lock, especially in New Zealand where the position demands brutal physicality, experience and presence. But even then, there was something about him. He was raw, sure, but you could see the potential, the size, the skill, the smarts. He had all the tools. Fast forward to 2024 and Fabian was no longer the rookie. He played 13 games for the Highlanders that season, starting nearly every one. And in 2025, he didn't miss a single match. Week after week, he dominated in the lineout, brought physicality to the breakdown, and showed athleticism you don't usually see from someone standing 2.04 centimetres tall and weighing over 120 kilograms. The Highlanders knew they had something special. In June 2025, they locked him in literally, signing Fabian to a new deal through the end of 2028. But it wasn't just about stats. That year, Holland was named Highlanders Forward of the Year and Defender of the Year. Think about that. In a team with seasoned players, Fabian the Dutchman had become their engine. But what happened next shocked even the biggest supporters. On July 3rd, 2025, All Blacks head coach Scott Robinson named Fabian Holland in the Matchday 23 to face France. The first test of the season, in Dunedin against a physical bruising French pack, and not only was Fabian selected, he was starting. Wearing the number 5 jersey, lining up alongside Scott Barrett. It was official. Fabian Holland was now an All Black. And if you think that was incredible, what happened during the game took another level. July 6, 2025, Dunedin's Forsyth Bar Stadium, the All Blacks lined up against France. The test season had officially begun. And standing front and centre was Fabian Holland, the first Dutch-born player to ever represent New Zealand at test level. And he wasn't there just to make up numbers. He was there to go the distance. In a match where most debutants would have been subbed off after 50 or 60 minutes, Fabian played the full 80. Let that sink in. 80 minutes of test rugby against France on your debut, and you didn't just survive, he thrived. He made 17 tackles without missing one, carried the ball 13 times, won 7 lineouts, secured 3 cleanouts, pressured the opposition in the maul, every phase, every ruck, every lineout. Fabian was there. Not just doing his job, but leading, pushing, grinding and delivering. After the final whistle, the All Blacks had won 31-27. It was tight, but Fabian's contribution was massive. When asked about it later, he was humble. Said it was an unreal experience. But even the coaches knew what they saw. A star had arrived, quietly, professionally, and with serious power. And there was something else that stood out. The emotion. As Fabian walked onto the pitch for the first test, he looked into the crowd and saw his mum. His Dutch mother, who had flown all the way from Europe to watch her son become an All Black. The cameras caught it. You could see it on his face. The mix of pride, disbelief, and quiet fire. This wasn't just a game, it was a result of years of sacrifice, distance, and relentless work. But this story didn't stop there. Just days after Fabian's debut, All Blacks captain Scott Barrett was ruled out for the next 2 matches due to injury. That left a big hole in the locking department. And guess who's now expected to fill it? You guessed it, Fabian Holland. So what makes Fabian Holland so special? For starters, the obvious. His physical size. At 204 centimetres, that's nearly 6'9", and 124 kilos, he's built like a skyscraper. But unlike some tall locks who are only good at lineouts, Fabian moves like a flanker. His athleticism, agility, and endurance let him cover ground like a loose forward. And he's not just a one-dimensional battering ram either. Coaches and analysts have praised his technique, especially at the breakdown and in defence. In online rugby communities, fans who usually take years to warm up to new players have already started calling him the real deal. One comment said he's a turnover machine, dominant in contact, doesn't miss tackles, smart operator. Another added he's got the size of Brodie Retallick but the breakdown work of Sam Cane. And he's not just hype. Fabian's Highlanders performances in 2025 earned him Defender of the Year, meaning he had the most consistent, reliable tackling performance in the entire squad. His ability to read the game, choose smart lines, and anticipate opposition movements is beyond his years. And when you combine that with the fact that he's only 21, that's terrifying for opponents. Some in New Zealand media have quietly started asking the big question: is Fabian Holland the long-term replacement for Brodie Retallick? It might seem premature, but when you look at the tools and now the test performances, it's a fair comparison. Big, mobile, smart, dominant, and still growing into his game. Now, of course, New Zealand has options. Tupuvai and Patrick Tuipolotu, Josh Lord, but Fabian's trajectory is different. He's not just filling in, he's stepping up. And with Barrett out and Retallick retired, there's a very real chance that Fabian locks down the position long term. And what makes this even more special is the journey. The fact that Fabian isn't your typical rugby story. He didn't come through the Kiwi age grades. He didn't play first 15 since he was 10. He came here at 16, from a football-loving European country, and in under 6 years, he became an All Black. That's not just talent. That's mindset, that's sacrifice, that's a whole new level of belief. He had to adapt to a new culture, a new school system, new teammates, and a totally different rugby environment. And yet, he didn't just adapt, he dominated. Not many players have done that, especially in the forwards. Fabian's story is about grit. It's about betting on yourself, and now he's cashing in. Ever wanted to create your own Rugby Highlights channel just like this one? With my course, the YouTube Creator Toolkit, I show you exactly how I do it, from the tools I use to the templates I built. You get everything. Just copy, paste, and start creating. Learn how to grow your channel, keep viewers hooked, and turn views into income. Click the link in the description below to learn more and start your channel today. Now back to the video. From Castricum to Christchurch, from Highlanders to the haka, from dreaming of rugby to wearing the most iconic jersey in the world sport, Fabian Holland's journey is already incredible, but this might be just the beginning. If you're excited to see Fabian Holland dominate in the 2025 schedule and maybe become the greatest All Blacks lock of all time, make sure to like, share and subscribe. We've got more stories like this coming every week. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time. Peace.